What is up, nerds? My name is Scott Gilmore. I play guitar for Soulkeeper. We're going to be talking about some gear today. Let's get into it. We're going to start with the guitars. We have two tunings in our set list. Half of the songs are in drop B flat, and then half of them are in drop E. This is the B flat guitar. It's a Fender Strat. So this one I had a 90s player Strat body. It's off-white, and I found a Bosley black anodized aluminum neck on reverb for a steel. Very happy. I've always wanted to mess with an aluminum neck, so I was very happy about that. Graphtec ratio tuners, I think these are like the only ones that I could even find that would fit the reverse and still be for a Strat, so that's good. I'm glad I found those. Brass nut. Now for a 6-string, this is tuned pretty low, and the other one is tuned even lower. And this is drop B flat, that's 62. I don't know the high string, but it's Mammoth Slinkies, so it's gonna be 62, which is pretty crazy. Lumen lay, the side dots, kind of glow in the dark, helpful. This is you can actually see it because we're in sunlight, but this is like a kind of a sheet metal kind of pick guard. That's kind of hard to see. Same with the electronics cover on the back. Very minimal, very smooth, thin neck, kind of fun to play. Love it. This is a rail hammer, clean cut bridge pickup, and then just a volume knob because I'm a rhythm guy. What the heck am I doing? Flipping knobs and stuff, on, off. Yeah, love this thing. This is kind of a new thing for me. I had this for about a few months. Getting used to it. Love it. All right. This one's even dumber. This is a Jim Root Strat, a little modified. I have a mirror pickguard with just a bridge pickup. This is going to be a electrical guitar company pickup. They also make great guitars, all aluminum guitars, which are really cool. Sorry, you're probably getting that. Great. Yeah, sounds great, really twangy. This is in drop E, so this is 80 to 24, and these are all wound. So when I was kind of conceiving this, I was worried about, you know, when you hit a string and it goes, and then it kind of settles into tune. Luckily, it didn't do that as much as I thought, so I'm very happy with that. And this one is just an on-off switch, which is even handier. I kind of wanted the volume one in that so I could, you know, dial it up and down, which is cool to affect sometimes. Nothing crazy on the back. Stock tuners, Ernie Ball seat belt straps, kind of slidey. Yeah, a lot of fun. Good shit. And we use Fender stands. Pretty great. Never let me down yet, so that's good. So we have a guitar rig here and our bass rig here. This one's on my side of the stage. We have a Furman power conditioner and then 2 Axe effects, because at the end of the day we are just gent kids, really. So this one is running my signal, so I'm plugging into this, and then this one is actually getting stems from our drummer's rack, which is playing stage left stems. And don't let any hardcore kids on Twitter bully you into thinking that's not cool, because it is. So I got that one too. 2-space, you know, rack spacer. And then my favorite thing I own, which is the Fryet 252. It's a tube 2-space guitar power amp, which is really cool because each of these goes into here and out of here with individual volume, but also it has a depth and presence knob, which is really cool because it gives it like a really, if you EQ a guitar tone before an amp sometimes, especially with bass, it can get really muddy and flubby and kind of dumb. But with this, it's like really clean and kind of purrs in a really great way. And then the presence is really bitey and just makes the cabs really sound great, which is good because we sometimes do a lot of kind of DIY places where the PA isn't like a big deal or gonna like fill the space. So the cabs sound really great with that. So right now, how we kind of have it when we play live, presence is pretty up there. Too much, it can kind of get a little too trebly, and if the cab is like on a high stage and it's coming right at someone's face, it can really not sound great. It just hurt your ear. So that's a good spot. And then the depth is pretty much kind of blasted here because even when it's all the way up, it still sounds fantastic, which is really great. And that is for both signals. These two tones in here are a little bit different just to give it kind of a human feel. But the EQ on this is the same. I think they match really well. We don't have the cabs here today because we're backlining, but I have a Fryette 412 is a fat bottom with greenbacks in it, and then the other one is a Randall with Celestion V30s, which sound really good together and complement each other really well. So yeah, that's what we got for cabs. All right, moving on to the pedal board. My pedal board is relatively minimal. I just have 4 pedals. I have 2 whammy pedals, which is often called a double whammy. The ZVEX Sonar and a Mandala pedal by Banana Nut, which is cool. Both of these two I found from Reba Meyer's Bored to Death thing, and I liked how they sound, so I had to get them. But the ZVEX Sonar is technically a tremolo pedal, but as you can see, everything is, I have it off, and then the volume's up, and then there's just this clean and machine knob. Clean just bypasses it, and the machine kind of gives it like a digital shreddy kind of a fuzz effect, like pre-Axe Effects, which with both of them combined sounds very insane, very distorted, very fuzzy. And this is kind of a delay pedal. It kind of takes what I play and repeats it like infinitely until I let it go. So I use this a lot for like effects and fills and stuff, which comes in handy. I used to have a Line 6 DL4 that I did the same thing for, but I only used it to record, and this kind of does the same thing but in a small package in a live setting, which is really cool. I used to only have this Morpheus Bomber for years because all I ever did was do pitch shifting and up and down, but I got really sick of having to switch between like 2 octaves down, 1 octave down, 2 octave up, because this one lets you actually, you know, change the setting. On like this one you have to twist it with your hand. So eventually I just got the Digitech Whammy, which obviously is the best, and I always have this one set to 2 octaves up, and then this one is always set to 1 octave down, so I don't have to like go back and forth. Yeah, pretty simple. Love that. Kind of in conjunction with the pedal board, I use PRS signature cables, which are really great, mainly because they're really floppy and they don't get tied up, which is a problem I've had with cables in the past. And I used to run wireless. Not that I didn't like it, but I kind of like being plugged in. It makes me feel a little more grounded, a little more analog. So now we're going to be moving into bass. So for bass, we got this on top of our, it's a Carvin 810 that Eddie uses. Edwin Melendez is our bass player. Fantastic. He's a computer man. Gator case, I didn't say earlier, but this is a Gator G-Tour. It's a 20 space. Love Gator. They're the best. This is cool because it's big and it also has wheels, which if it was this big and didn't, it would be a giant hassle to carry around. Live wire, power conditioner, and then we have Eddie's Kemper, which runs the bass tone. The bass tone is from the guy who produced our album. His name is Lance Prince. He has a Kemper, like a bass tone website, like for sale, and he bought one of them, and I kind of tweaked it, and that's kind of what we do live. And then his power conditioner is a Crown XLI 1500, which is great. Maybe a little overkill, because like when you get to like the 3rd notch, it's already like way too loud for most settings, but sounds fantastic. And then as far as the signal chain goes for the Kemper for the bass tone, it's nothing crazy. I know there's like 2 different noise gates just to prevent from that extra noise, but then nothing out of the ordinary from there. It's going to be like a fuzz and then a distortion, bunch of EQ, scooped mids. He doesn't have any pedal boards, so it's just plug and play, and he sounds great. He kills it. For the bass guitars, this is the first one we're going to be talking about. This is the one that we play in Drop E. This is a Fender Aerodyne. You've seen these everywhere. This is like the most popular metalcore guitar of all time. Lightweight, really minimal, arch top, ivory binding, yeah, jazz pickup configuration, matching black headstock. You know, it's as cool as it gets. Yeah, this is an E, so it's E, B, E, A. So this is still in standard, and then these 3 are up I believe a full step. So we kind of have to make sure we have a little thinner strings than a normal set just to match with it. Yeah, for all the Drop E music, we had to early on decide whether we wanted to do the bass in the same octave or the lower octave. And since a lot of bands I was listening to at the time that played in Drop E, like Villains, like Youth Forever, they all did the punchier higher octave of bass, even though sometimes production wise you can run into like phasing issues. We decided to do that anyways because we like the clang, the higher pitch stuff. So that's this one. All right, and then for B flat, this is the bass we use. Eerily similar to the Aerodyne. This is a Jericho. It's a 5-string. This is drop B flat. It looks really similar because it's kind of based off it. Same arch top, same ivory binding. This one's going to be like a matte finish though, and then have a pickguard, even though some Aerodynes do have a pickguard version, which are also really cool. Yeah, that's the deal with this, matching black matte headstock. These tuners are really slick, also matte. This whole thing is matte. It's extremely pretty. Sounds fantastic. A little thinner neck shape as well, which makes it a little more fun to play too. So yes, lovely. A little heavier as well. But that's what you get, honestly. You want to have a really cool bass, you have to lug it around. Comes with the territory. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Please, please, please listen to Soulkeeper's new album that just came out on May 12th called Holy Design. It's out everywhere. We are Soulkeeper Cult on every social media website. Soulkeeper.store. We got merch. We're trying to push this stuff. Please sell it. I'm sick of looking at it. Did I do a good job? Let me know in the comments. Type 1 for yes, type 2 for no.